Good evening. This is岡田斗司夫seminar. Thank you guys. Our staff usually starts getting ready for the broadcast about an hour before it, but I come here about 10 minutes before the earliest, or when I don't have time, 1 to 2 minutes before and get ready in a hurry, then start looking at the comments. That's right, I have something called a peeling fracture, so I had to tape it. Maybe it will come off in like 2 days and I can start rehab, so I will be okay. But it's so hard to type, which made the preparation for this broadcast so hard. So, let's get started. Today's going to be long again. The first half is going to be especially long. In the second half, there are some funny stories, but in the first half I'll spend a fair amount of time talking about the true nature of Totoro. So, if I don't go fast, the free part will get longer and longer. It's not gonna be funny. So, here's today's rundown. The order is 3 monsters, then what cat bus is. So, today's topic is My Neighbor Totoro, okay? What are suit sprites, Totoro's true identity, Grave of the Fireflies, which traumatized Hayao Miyazaki, truly erotic and controversial Totoro, and I will end with a conclusion. The free part will cover up to Totoro's true identity. Now, My Neighbor Totoro is a work that Miyazaki himself said in an interview as the most logical work he's ever made. But Miyazaki is not the kind of man to talk about such things. He said this movie was made logically to the limit. Miyazaki made it seem like it was made intuitively from the beginning to the end, but in fact, he made it using logics to the maximum degree. So, what was so logical about Totoro which led him to make such statement? Today's title is My Neighbor Totoro Children Shouldn't Know About. I think that children should just enjoy it without thinking about the hidden meaning. Seeing the children having so much fun in theaters, I really think kids don't need any logical thinking to enjoy the movie. And after all, My Neighbor Totoro has a great influence on children. This was what I thought when I went to see Totoro with my 4-year-old daughter. There was a scene where protagonists bite into the whole cucumber, then my daughter wanted to imitate it. Seeing that happen, I was happy as a parent and thought, oh, this is a good movie for children. So for me, Totoro was a good movie, not so much in the perspective of children, but more for parents to show their children. So, it's good for kids to watch it without thinking too much, so this lecture is targeted for adults, that they can secretly enjoy. First of all, here you go. These are the monsters that come out in the movie. Cat bus, suit sprites, and it says in here, Totoro tribe. Because there are 3 of them altogether. There are 3 monsters, or 3 kinds of monsters. I am expected to start explaining from the largest Totoro, but that's gonna be long. So, it's better to first explain the other 2. So, each of the 3 kinds of monsters is different. Let's go from cat bus. So, what's cat bus? Well, we all love it. It's this guy. Its feature is that it's insanely good at mimicking. Well, using mice as turn signals is cute, but the door opens like an automatic door with machine-like sound. It's also pretty neat that the eyes shine like headlights, and there are even seats inside. Not only that, there is a sign that says Tsukamori, and that sign can be switched with a clicky sound. It is another level compared to Totoro or Suit Sprites. It's so well elaborated, so it's almost like a toy figure, but I mean of course, because Cat Bus is actually a bakeneko, a monster cat that can transform and trick people. Isao Takahata said when he made Pompoko, only foxes, raccoons, and cats can trick people. So the true identity of Cat Bus, the first of the three different kinds of monsters, is a monster cat. So it's a yokai, a Japanese folk monster. Interestingly, all three are actually different. Cat Bus is different from Suit Sprites and Totoro. According to Miyazaki's setting, which he told in an interview, Cat Bus has temporarily transformed into a bus. Before it's turned into a bus, apparently it had turned into palanquin carriers during the Edo period, that real palanquin that samurais used to travel in. I mean, not just the palanquin part, but also the four carriers carrying it front and back. It was probably possible since it's got 4 legs, but it's pretty skillful. That's how yokais tricked people, for fun. For example, there is a story where someone got on the palanquin in Edo, but in only 30 minutes it arrived in Kamakura. It loves tricking people. It can mimic things in so much detail without letting the humans find out. In a short movie called May and Kitten Bus, which is being played in Ghibli Museum, it finally turns into a train, or as you can see the screw in the back, it also turns into a ship. It's a huge and long cat which is a train. These monster cats do this as a hobby, which is to trick people. For example, someone goes to a wharf and be like, "Where's my ship?" And he's taken to a totally different place. Or gets on a train that takes him to some random place. In other words, it's like the ghost train in Gegege no Kitaro. The story about the ghost train in Gegege no Kitaro is a scary story where the train takes people to hell without them realizing and they can't go back home anymore. But Miyazaki argues, no, yokais aren't like that. They're more playful. It's kind of wrong to see them through such stereotyped images. So, this kind of interesting cats like to trick people. Well, they first have the desire to transform, then to trick people. That's how they are portrayed as this kind of monsters. I have read a lot of articles related to Totoro, and I was wondering, the reason why Miyazaki's remark was interesting was because, see, there are these things called Mizuki Yokai, or the Night Parade of 100 Demons. Miyazaki doesn't seem to like them. But not liking them doesn't mean he hates Mizuki Yokai. He probably can't tolerate the current situation where all Japanese people think of the Mizuki version when they hear Itamomen or Sunakake Baba. He wants us to look at his version, which is the true nature of artists. That's why Cat Bus is an antithesis against the Mizuki Yokai. He wants to send a message on how yokais should really be like. If Mizuki were to draw monster cats, he would make them look scary by drawing their furs with their fine details. Then those cats would grin at you and take you to a scary place. But Miyazaki would say, no, if I did that, I would be imitating a pioneer. Scary-looking monster cats are like cliché. He wanted to make them more interesting. If a monster cat was a typical big cat with just a scary face, it would look like Mizuki version. Miyazaki always says, I'll never imitate Tezuka, a pioneer Japanese manga artist. It's kind of similar to that. So to conclude, Cat Bus is Miyazaki's version of yokai.